Hey, what's up, guy? What a week it's been in the markets. We just went through some serious volatility, and I have to say, these moments is where most of my strategy does find the most success. Today, I'm going to be going over a few of the setups that I took last week that helped me capitalize on these opportunities. So, this week was a perfect storm for volatility with CPI and PPI data sending the market on a wild ride. So we've seen those sharp moves up and down that had a lot of traders kind of not understanding to which direction it was going. But here's the thing, while everyone was glued to the news, I just stayed focused on where it really mattered, and that's the charts. Sure, I have my own views on the fiscal policy with the feds and how that affects the market long term, but when it comes to just strictly day trading, my strategy is not swayed by headlines or personal opinions. It's all about what the charts are telling me and then just sticking to my approach. That discipline has allowed me to capitalize when we do have these volatility moments in the market. Doesn't matter if we're going up or down, I try to capitalize. So I'm going to be showing you exactly how this played out with a few key trades that I took last week. The first setup I'm going to be first talking about is the pre-CPI setup. I had my eyes on SPY and QQQ. I was looking for a specific technical trigger in my setup, my sequence. For SPY, it was to retest the 556.9 and the 556.25 range, and then breaking back above the resistance at that 557.18 area. And QQQ, I was focused on it retesting the 498.3 and then reclaiming above the 498.62. Either one of these scenarios was going to signal my entry into calls. Coming into the session, a lot of people were not expecting a big move with CPI the day after, but I've had some experience that they could front run us, and I just didn't let that persuade me waiting for if we would get an expansion. Just followed my technical analysis, followed my strategy. QQQ was my first entry that did trigger. Once I seen that and I got into my initial position, I waited for SPY to break above its resistance, which was 55718, and that's where I added to my calls. With how much divergence there was in the last week with SPY and QQQ, I wanted to make sure that SPY and QQQ were moving in sync when I did get into that full position. Once that happened, I implemented my stop on the break back below this 55718, and if we could get this break back below this 498.3, either one of them would have triggered my stop and I would have repositioned. What made me very interested in this setup and my best risk reward setup was seeing the space in the gap we had between the next major resistance on SPY, and QQQ already was above all-time highs. I don't like rejecting when we're at all-time highs. I rather play shorts or puts once they lose support. So I did know that we had room on SPY till 560, so that gave me a clear target. Once the trade unfolded with CPI next day, I did want to be more conservative with the trimming approach. Once we got to 100%, I did take majority of my position out of that. I had few runners left just to see if I can get that full move. It was over a $2 move at that point, so I implemented a trailing stop. So that trailing stop, I didn't put too tight. I got that 100% trim, so I was more relaxed on letting some drawdown happen and fluctuations on that trade. As you can see, we got full movement all the way back above that 560 area. So this trade perfectly illustrates how focusing on your strategy and your technical analysis, rather than just getting caught up that we might not get a big move, data's tomorrow, can set you up for success. I entered based solely on my strategy. I managed my position with discipline, and I was able to capitalize on all that volatility. Regardless if we were going to chop or not, I was following my plan.